although there is a story that is noteworthy in the recruiting world. Um, LSU wide receiver commitment Tristan Keys is visiting Tennessee here in the next couple of weeks. And Tennessee was in the mix to land him when he first committed to LSU. He chose LSU, but when he chose LSU, it sounded like Tennessee was down but not out on his recruitment, if that makes sense. Like Tennessee still had a good shot at him, which would be a huge get. He is the number one overall receiver in this class. He's from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, where they do not have an Applebee's. But he would be a huge staple in this class. Like, obviously, we talked about Faison Brandon being potentially, or not potentially, but he is the crown jewel of this class right now. Gabriel Asende is a 5-star as well, as of a couple of weeks ago. And if you got Tristan Keys, that's 3 5-stars in your class, which would be gigantic for Tennessee. Because I know recruiting is, I don't know how much importance you put into it nowadays, just with the transfer portal and with guys jumping around and moving schools all the time. But it feels like it's still got some importance there to it. And, if my theories are correct about all of this stuff working itself out and coaches eventually going with high school kids over portal products, then you know what? Maybe getting all the 5-stars you can still is very important.
Yeah, and it would be interesting to see because I'm not 100% sure, but that would have to be like the first time Tennessee's gotten 3 5-star recruits since probably Butch Jones, if he even did that. Because I know the one class that he had I think Josh Malone was a 5-star and Jalen Hurd, and I'm pretty sure they were in the same class. But I can't recall if there was a third 5-star from that year. So, I mean, that would be interesting to see. I mean, Tennessee's gotten a lot of talented players over time, but it doesn't seem like very many 5-stars in the grand scheme of things. So, I mean, it would be cool on paper to say the least. But also, I mean, he's got some decent size as well. I mean, they have him listed at 6'2.5". And then I was seeing on Twitter at some point that he was like clocked running 20.8 miles per hour during like one of his plays last season. So it seems like he's got a little bit of speed too to him. And I mean, I feel like most people can agree with me here that the combination of size and speed is really fun to watch for receivers. Like growing up watching people like Calvin Johnson and them, it's something you like to see. And hopefully, his visit goes well with Tennessee, and then maybe he decides to flip his commitment.
Yeah, it's definitely a good combo, and you've seen it here with a couple of these guys lately to come through Tennessee. Guys like Cedric Tillman, Dante Thornton on the team now. Chris Brazel is a perfect example of this. But you're also going up against LSU, who has produced some of the very best NFL wide receivers in the last 10, 15 years. I know they're not Hall of Fame worthy careers, but both Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry had pretty good stints in the NFL. Obviously, Odell has one of the most famous catches of all time. And then you have arguably 2 of the best wide receivers in football right now, and Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, who both played on the same team at LSU in the league. And then now you've got 2 younger guys in there in Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, who, despite playing for some pretty bad teams, had pretty nice rookie seasons. Brian Thomas very quietly put together a very good year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that's what Tennessee is up against in his recruitment. And I know there are some other big SEC schools at play here. I believe both Alabama and Auburn. I know Alabama for sure is in the mix. Texas A&M is another one that is taking a look at him. So Tennessee will have its work cut out with Tristan Keys, or at least trying to land him, but it sounded like they were very well within the mix back in March when they were trying to land him.
And I mean, and it's got to be a good sign too, considering that he's willing to have this visit. And I mean, I know he's just verbally committed or whatever, but I mean, it seems like, I mean, he could still stay with LSU at the end of the day. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I do like the idea of him opening up his mind to possibly coming to Tennessee. And I think Tennessee needs him pretty badly right now. I mean, we'll see how the receivers end up being this season, but he would definitely help out the team significantly, I would imagine. And then, like, of course, we'll see how Mike Matthews ends up being this season as well. But would be a very exciting player for Tennessee to get for sure.
Yeah. So you've got right now in the class, you have got Tyreek King at wide receiver, who's from Knoxville Catholic. He's a 4-star. And additionally, you have Tyron Evans, who is from North Carolina and is right now rated a 3-star by 247, although that varies by your recruiting service that you choose to follow. Some people like to acknowledge the place that gives it the highest star is the proper rating. So if a guy's rated 3-star by Rivals and 4-star by 247, they will side with 247 on the matter. But Keys, pretty much consensus outside of maybe ESPN 300, which is kind of irrelevant in the recruiting world right now, is rated as the number one receiver across all services in the 2026 class. So he would be a massive commitment for Tennessee. And Mississippi, too, not a place where Tennessee generally recruits heavy. It's a decently talented football, or at least high school football state, but I can only think of a handful of just really big names that Tennessee's gotten out of there. Like Billy Ratliff is one of the few that comes to mind. I mean, recently there just haven't been that many that Tennessee's gotten out of Mississippi.
Yeah, not any that I can really think of. I'm trying to think back. Like maybe I want to say maybe there was a defensive lineman like back in the early 2010s, but I mean, I can't really remember. I mean, not as many players Tennessee gets from like Mississippi as opposed to like Georgia or North Carolina, like we've mentioned before.
Yeah. Yeah, North Carolina is huge in this one. And a part of the reason why getting Faison Brandon was so important, because some of Tennessee's most beloved players here over the years are from North Carolina. I mean, pretty much every guy that grew up in the early 1990s, favorite quarterback, Heath Schuler, he's a North Carolina guy. Everybody that went to college at UT here lately, their favorite quarterback, Hendon Hooker, he's a North Carolina guy. So it's an important state, as is Georgia and Alabama too, for that matter. Tennessee really likes its good Alabama players. Of course, you got both Joey Kent and Jason Swain from the Huntsville area. Condredge Holloway as well from up there. So got a lot of big names from Alabama as well. But Mississippi, not really a state Tennessee tends to dive into. It doesn't feel like.
But it would be nice if Tennessee could start to get a pipeline out there, because I mean, I feel like more players from the South, the better. I mean, unless you're getting from some of these other schools like New Jersey or like other states like New Jersey's had some good quarterbacks and stuff back in the
Garrett
day.
Garantano is a great quarterback from New Jersey.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't thinking of him.
Lodi, New Jersey.
I think Matt Sims was from New Jersey too. I could be wrong. With another Tennessee great.
That would make sense. Every Tennessee quarterback that wears the number 2 just so happens to be from New Jersey, by that logic. But yes, Tennessee could potentially land Tristan Keys if he decides to decommit. But again, with these guys, it's like, how committed are they really if they're visiting other schools? Like Tennessee has got this going on with Carson Snead right now, the 4-star tight end from Donaldson Christian over in Nashville. He's committed to Tennessee, but he's also visiting like 3 or 4 other places. So can you really call him committed? But this time it is going in Tennessee's favor with Tristan Keys.
Yeah, and it'll be exciting to watch for sure. I mean, hopefully Tennessee can have a good meeting with him, everything go well. But I mean, you just never know in college football anymore. You never know. I mean, could come to Tennessee and then still leave at the same time. It's an interesting world that we're living in college football.